Hey scrappers, if you're looking to figure out what materials you should sell this week or hold this week, now is the time to do it. Our weekly report is going to give you that information, up-to-date market news, pricing. Let's get right into it and we'll talk about it inside.
Hey scrappers, today is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. We hope that everyone is doing well. Happy early Halloween. We got it right around the corner, so hopefully you got those Tin Man costumes ready and you're ready to rock hard and get ready for a nice Halloween season. So let us know if you had any scrap metal related costumes. I'd always love to see that. I love seeing people that build stuff out of scrap and then they put it outside. I actually saw a scrap yard that built some transformers and put them outside their yard. So super interesting stuff. So let's just jump right into the markets. Let's talk about a couple of things right off the bat. Let's talk about catalytic converters. What a wacky week for catalytic converter prices. We saw catalytic converter OEM averages go from 77 up to $86 for an OEM. We saw rhodium prices go from 3,300 to 5,500 per ounce. And then we saw platinum and palladium jump about 3 to 4% each. That was last week. And if we could click on the national catalytic converter average, you can see today they were at 76.24. Okay. And when you look at the kind of a quick jump here, we saw the market kind of go up the other day, and then it went right back down because we saw rhodium in the last few days has now gone down 31%, right? So look at the average price right here. Let's go back to the 17th, about a week ago, $84. And then we went from 84 to 77. So when you do that, you have like a 9% decrease week over week. And that is because rhodium went up so crazy high and then down as fast as it went up. Platinum and palladium also went up 3 to 6%. And today, week over week, platinum's up 0.1% and palladium's down 1.3%. That's all in the last 7 days. All of these things have to do with the Israeli conflict, have to do with what's going on with the auto worker strike. We saw another humongous segment of people in the auto strike hit the Stellantis plant, which builds the Ram 1500s. So now I think it was something like, and I could be wrong, but I believe 40,000 people, it could have been 4,000 people. I think maybe 4,000 sounds better. 4,000 people walked off the other day, shutting down production of the Ram 1500 trucks, decreasing the scrap needed for the new catalytic converters. And the same story repeats itself for the fourth week. Steel, aluminum demand are going to be down. Catalytic converter demand, precious metals are going to be down. Even with this conflict going on, another conflict going on in the Middle East, you don't realize how nice it is to not have wars until wars pop back up. And now we got two of them. For years, we were relatively peaceful throughout the world and the U.S. wasn't as involved. It's not going to affect scrap. I don't see any of these wars affecting scrap except in a negative way, because wars lead to destruction and chaos. Destruction and chaos leads to times of rebuilding, but you got to clean things up before you rebuild them. So the demand for scrap, for steel and things like that throughout the world, it's not there. I was talking to Virginia just a few minutes ago, talking about commercial development. And when you look at residential mortgages now at 8%, commercial mortgages are going to be closer to 10%. So that means that every dollar, you got a 10% VIG on top of that, compounding all of the time. That's going to make it very difficult for companies to be able to have large expansions. It's going to make it very difficult for companies to have large growth. Buildings are going to be slowing themselves down. You might see large companies building them, but they may be self-financing. So it's going to be a very weird time when it comes to scrap. I don't see anything good the next 15 months. I'll give you my hot take on 2024. I see 2024 being as stagnant as the second half of 2023 has been. So I don't really see big market growth right now. If you look at my recommendations for hold or sell, everything is a sell. Every single item is a sell, from aluminum, brass, copper, steel, stainless, cats, lead acid batteries. Everything is sell. Sell everything. I really don't think we're going to see a lot of upside. Even on copper, I think copper has kind of leveled itself off. And we can kind of jump into that. Copper prices in the last week up 0.5%. But if you can look over the last 30 days, we're seeing not a lot of movement upwards. I know that some of these numbers are there, but if we can click on number one tubing, $2.79. I know that, it says, this is where we're auto correcting. See, this is where we had a bunch of prices reported that need to be out. But if you look, this price is down. It says 315, but if we can go back a little bit, you start to look at these numbers, they are down. They really are. It looks like we have a programming problem on the 26% increase for 30 days because that shouldn't be there. But 279, we saw prices, a little higher, and they're going down. If we go back a screen and we look at Bear Bright prices that have been reported, 292, which is a little closer to kind of the range that we're in, you can start to see these prices ticking down. 292, 293. $3.10, $3. Just a few weeks ago, these were $3.25. I don't see a lot of good stuff happening right now. I don't want to. I am an optimist, but I'm also a realist, and reality shows that we're going into the holiday season. November's next week. Thanksgiving's around the corner. Christmas and New Year's shortly follow. Traders start to check themselves out. Scrapyards start to liquidate all of their inventories to kind of get ready to and finalize the year and go into the next year relatively fresh. Maybe not all scrapyards, but many scrapyards. I know mine we liquidate every year. So that's what's going on the next 2 months. You might get a couple of holiday specials and you might see copper jump 5-10 cents. There's no strikes going on. There's no large growth going on. There's no news coming out that we're going to see any type of increase in metal prices. We're just not going to see them right now. If we can pull up some of the steel prices right now, we can talk about that. Steel prices, again, down 10, 15 bucks a ton. Light iron prices are continuing to fall. We're seeing oil and gas prices being affected in all types of different ways. And we just hold here for a second, just look. Automobiles, 155. Cars with tires, 145. Cast iron, 193. Let's scroll down a little bit. Let's look at light iron prices. Light iron right in the $134 range. Let's click on light iron and look at a 30-day, kind of take on light iron prices right now. Down 14%, 6 cents, 140 a ton, 6 cents, 5 cents, 6 cents, 145. And look at these locations: Pennsylvania, Florida, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Michigan. This is all over the country. We're seeing these prices falling down, and we're just not going to see an uptick coming anytime soon. Let's go back to the Ferrous pricing board. We're just not going to see large increases in these numbers. Some of these are kind of zeroed out because they're not getting as many reports on them. But when you look at something like Rotors, let's click on Rotors, and don't forget, when you have your iPhones out there, guys, it's really, I'm going to pull mine up real quick. It's so easy to be able to have the phone, find the prices, find where you are, and just report those prices on there. You do that, it's going to help you know where the markets are. It's going to help you know where the markets are headed. Just give you a much better idea. You can also report the prices on here. Virginia, if you could just click on the submit price for a second. See, nice and simple. State, town, optional, put in the scrapyard, put the price in, boom. You want to add another one? Add another one. Within 30 seconds, you get these prices in there. And what does that do? That helps you and other scrappers know where the markets are going. That helps us understand where the markets are throughout the country, and helps us better prepare you week after week for better price news, more increases, whatever they may be. Maybe giving you news on when the markets are going up. If I see any signs, some of those things get pulled from the reported prices. One thing I do want to talk about, we saw this, and I'm reading my notes here. Last week, the Facebook group, we had a lot of people talking about washers and dryers. So we've gone over washers and dryers before, and we have a bunch of videos on YouTube that we can refresh on those. But that is another excellent item for you to make money on. Let's look at a washer, for instance. Washing machines, you get them, right? You might sell it to the yard for $3, $5, $6 each. They have an electric motor. They generally have a tub inside that's made of non-magnetic stainless steel. Always use your magnet. They have a low-grade circuit board. That's how it gets powered. They have a piece of wire on the back that gets plugged into the wall. All upgrades for you to be able to make money on. So that is an item that you can upgrade that without even pulling it off of your trailer, out of your truck. Some of those can just be dismantled right on the spot, make that cash real quick. So that's a good one. We also can make more videos on it. Just let us know what you want us to talk about so we can better cater to that. We have videos every week that are dropping on YouTube right now, and we had our auto wrecker series, and our YouTube channel members have all this access to these different videos. Virginia, if you could pull up just the YouTube channel just to show some of the previews, the members only on YouTube have access to our entire auto wrecker series that we just put together. We're calling it part 1 because we're going to do another part in a couple of months. But if you look here, we have 6 different videos from what an auto wrecker is, draining fluids, maximizing profits. These are all things that you can check out. These are phenomenal videos to show you how to make more money on your different car scrap. So check these out. You have all these different things on how you make money, and really we also have tips in there on how you don't lose money, which is sometimes more important than making money. Knowing what not to do helps you know what to do even better, so you can kind of touch on that. We had other people asking us questions this week about lead-coated wire. Lead-coated copper wire, how do scrapyards buy it? What should you do with it? So we'll make a video on that, but generally, if you can strip the lead off of, this is just a preview of one of, draining the fluids the other day. This is Christian, our friend over at Roxbury. He was able to show us how he is properly draining these, lifting the car, etc. So a lot of really good tips on here. And a lot of you know how to do these, but sometimes they might give you tips or tricks that kind of share things otherwise. So check out some of these videos. Talking about kind of lead-coated wire here, lead-coated wire is something that was very popular in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Nowadays, it's used very little. If it is, it's for underground power being run, generally underwater, because lead does provide a very nice shield, doesn't rust, it doesn't really decompose, so it protects that power cable inside. But when you come across lead-coated cable or lead-coated wire, that is an item that you may want to consider separating and sorting. But of course, talk to your scrapyard and also think about how much you have. Do you have 5 pounds or 500 pounds? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Because sometimes you have that piece of cable, you're not going to strip it to pull the jacket off. It's just not worth that much money. So those are things that you want to look for. One thing that we saw a lot of kind of feedback on, I was talking about TVs last week, and it says, when I discussed the scrap from TVs, a user commented that their yard ends up throwing TVs in the shred pile. While a wacky yard is to be expected here or there, as TVs become more complex, taking them apart is really something that you want to focus on. Flat screen TVs are essentially just, big screens with circuit boards behind them. They have resale markets. They also have recycling markets if you know who to deal with. If your scrapyard does not recycle electronic scrap, that's okay, but you might want to ask them who does, because sometimes they can refer you to one. Now, I mentioned electronic scrap in the weekly report, and I'll elaborate on that a little more. Gold prices have crept closer to $2,000 an ounce. I believe they're at $1,985. So they're up about 1% over the last week. But in the last 2 weeks, they're up from $1,850 close to $2,000. Why? Primary reason is a little bit of fear from the Israeli war starting, people putting more money into gold, generally a safer haven. People see the United States starting to provide more ammunition to different places. It exposes us, might make the dollar a little weak. So that's why we saw gold prices jumping up. It will affect the electronic side of things for memory, CPU chips, and higher grade circuit boards. So if you do deal with electronic scrap regularly, watching the gold and silver prices are important things to look for. And we don't have many people that, as many people that report electronic scrap prices as you want. But Virginia, could you pull up Rockaway Recycling? We'll pull up our scrap list right now. This way we can give a good idea. If you're looking to learn more about some of the electronic scrap prices, whether it's power supplies, circuit boards, memory, we have great features inside of iScrap where you can learn about them. If you're looking for better prices, here you go, rrprices.com. Clean motherboards, power supplies, different types of grades. But this shows you an overall idea, what's inside of a computer, what's inside of the electronics world that you can make money on. Gives you a little detail. And Virginia, if you could pull up some of the electronic learning and tutorials we have on iScrap, just so we could show those, while at Rockaway Recycling, we have prices because those are what we're buying at the door. Through iScrap, we have great pieces of education as well as through our videos, a lot of really good info on there for you to learn about electronic scrap, to learn about the difference between low grade boards and high grade boards. Here, you see it right here. We got, dozen items. You can see some prices that have been reported. Again, these aren't things that get reported on often because they're not everyday items. But what we do have is educating, tips and tricks and videos that you can check out to learn how to scrap a hard drive. Will a scrapyard buy it? What are other electronics? So learning about how to make more money in different categories is great. Electronic scrap isn't something that we talk about weekly, even though it might be something that you come across pretty often. You look at some of these things and you say, what do? You look at some of these other pages, LCD monitors, low-grade boards, motherboards. These are things that you can learn about, really good pieces of information. You scroll up and just look at some of the videos and pictures that we have. Let us know if there's something more that we could do to expand on this. It's not always easy to learn and understand electronic scrap, but we will do our best in the coming weeks. So scrappers, today is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. We wish you all a very happy Halloween next week. Don't forget to report your prices. Don't forget to check out our member-only videos on YouTube. Become a member today. You'll be able to go on there and get, instant videos that we produce quicker than other people will. So it'll just help you learn more about the scrap markets. Again, continue to ask us questions. And until next week, I'll scrap you later.
Thanks for watching our video. For $2.99 a month, by becoming a member, you can get access to early videos, member-only videos, merchandise discounts from our store, and priority comments that we answer before answering any other scrappers. Click the link below to learn more. Until next time, scrap you later.